One. Welcome back. The country is about to go banana crazy, and if you don't know why, you either hate baseball, don't listen to my show, or live under a rock. I am Grayson Knight, and this is Baseball Podcasts Are Fun. The Savannah Bananas kick off their 2023 Banana Ball War Tour today. That's right. In just a few short hours in West Palm Beach, the Bananas and their arch rivals, the Party Animals, will be facing off for the 102 games over 7 months. So we thought we'd have a special bonus episode with someone who really knows the ins and outs of the Bananas organization. Ladies and gentlemen, Bananas team president Jared Orton. Thanks for joining me on short notice, sir.
Yeah, this is going to be great. Excited to talk, and it's a big day in Banana Land tonight.
Well, I know you're super busy, but thank you for being here. You're the 25th member of the Bananas, from the Bananas or Party Animals to come on. And with what you guys have planned, I thought you'd be the perfect person to help explain it. 102 games over 30 cities. I guess the question is, are you ready?
Yeah, man, we're ready. It's going to be a big show. Sold out crowd here in West Palm Beach. We were here last year as part of the tour, and the whole of the Houston Astros and the Washington Nationals. So it's cool, for us to be playing in front of 15,000 people over 2 nights. Where the big leaguers play. So that's gonna be pretty cool for us to kick off the tour this year in 2023.
In episode 1 of Banana Land, you asked, can this be what the fans expect? You were talking about last year's tour, but the same can be asked of this year. What do you think the answer will be?
The crazy thing this year is there's so many games and we're going to so many different places, and we'll be meeting close to 500,000 people this year, which would be incredible. And there's more challengers this year, which is going to be really fun. And we've got teams from Australia coming to Savannah, and we're taking on challengers on the road even more. And so the fans got to see just this little snippet of what the Bananas and Banana Ball was and the Party Animals. And now, like you said, they're going to be seeing so many more games and so many more challengers. So what I'm hoping to figure out this year is, do fans really like Banana Ball? And that's going to be the big question that we try to figure out over this whole year.
Well, you're sold out every game, so I think that's your answer.
I hope so. Hopefully they like when they come.
Mm-hmm. So there are probably a million things that can go wrong, but are there like two or three things that keep you guys up at night?
Yeah, it's all the things that you don't think about. That's the scary part when we put all this together. We're trying so many new things all the time. We've got this big broadcast plan. So many people can't see the game, and so we're trying to figure out, well, how do we show Banana Ball to more people? And so that's going to be on YouTube. For a lot of games this year, 50 or 60 games are going to be on YouTube, and we're trying all these new things for the broadcast, all the storylines and the stats and Banana Ball and all these different camera angles. And it's a really fast-paced thing. Showing a Banana Ball game in 2 hours is a lot. We got to make sure everyone sees everything, but they don't see too much and it confuses them. So, I think that's one of the scarier things that we're taking on this year is, broadcasting all these games and telling all these stories and making sure that it's interesting to every single person that watches every single night. So I'm really interested to see if we can pull that off.
So Mr. Orton, you're the team president. Recently I had the president of the Chattanooga Lookouts on the show. And he was talking about doing stuff to get people to the ballpark. Nobody does that better than the Bananas. But I want to know, with all the success you've had, do you worry people will lose interest?
Yeah, we think about that all the time. What if we're not cool anymore? What if people like get bored of this thing? What if people stop showing up? And so it's people like Jesse and our entertainment team and our players and our coaching staff. We talk about it all the time. We've got to make sure that when people show up, tonight in West Palm Beach and the next night when they come to Tampa or when they come to, Durham, or when they come to, California, we got to make sure that every single night we're doing new things and different things and fun things. It's got to be competitive. The players got to be doing more tricks, and they got to be, building their profile and their characters, and they got to be thinking about the game differently, and they got to be more competitive, and they got to have more fun. And so at no point can it just be the same old every single night, because you won't watch something on YouTube if it's the same every single time you watch it. You won't come to a Bananas game if it's the same thing every time you watch it. And
You
so
have to have something different.
it's got to be different. It's got to be fun, just like a TV show or a movie or a video game. It's got to be totally different every single time. And so we think about that all the time. And so that's a great question.
So I don't think people will lose interest because it's like the most fun baseball there is. There's not really anything the same as banana ball. So and it's a really electric it's really electric when people are there.
Yeah, we want it to be fun for people who, are there for the fun and antics, but we want to make sure banana ball is really fun and competitive. And, we hope that people see more tricks this year, guys catching balls between their legs or behind their back, or, doing backflips as the ball's coming, to the center fielder, or how are they going to run the bases differently, or, these pitchers come in, what's their move, what's their headgear, what's their, you saw Matt Wolf last year with the rodeo clown. And so there's all these different things that are coming about, but it's got to be fast paced. It's got to be competitive. It's got to be good baseball. These guys are super talented, but they're also entertaining. When you bring those together, hopefully it's something that people want to see every single night.
So I've interviewed several players and coaches, and it turns out that many of the places where you'll play just happen to be hometowns of your players or staff. So where are you from?
So I am from Burlington, North Carolina, and so the closest games for me
Durham.
and my family, yep, will be Durham and Kannapolis right there in North Carolina. I grew up going to Durham Bulls games, which are always fun. So it'd be cool for the Bananas, to take over these
Mm-hmm.
these ballparks across the country.
Mm-hmm. And so you just said Durham, and those games will be on July 14th and 15th. Are you
Yep.
excited for those?
I am. I've got family that wants to come to the game. I tell everybody, they have to wait in line just like everybody else. They got to get on the waiting list and get on the pre-sale list. I got people, family telling me how could I kick them off the pre-sale list? And I'm like, it's randomized. It's all random. You got to figure out a way to get these tickets. But yeah, it'll be great to have family in town to watch the game. It'll be cool to see, people who I used to work with in the area and, back in North Carolina come to the game. So those are going to be really fun.
What other two cities are you really looking forward to?
Well, I think the one I'm looking forward to going back to is Birmingham again. Going to Rickwood Field, oldest ballpark in America. Really fun place that we get to go to there again. And then I would say the new one that I'm looking forward to probably is Nashville. I've heard so much about the city, and it's a beautiful ballpark. I don't know if you know this, but their scoreboard is shaped like a guitar, which is like really fascinating. And so that's going to be a fun one to go to, one of our bigger stadiums in the Southeast in Nashville.
Are you excited for Vegas also? That'd probably be
I've,
fun.
I've never been to Vegas. And so I don't know what I'm getting myself into there, but everyone talks about it. This past week, the Super Bowl was in Phoenix. And so, now the Bananas are coming to Phoenix with the Super Bowl. Next year, the Super Bowl is in Vegas and the Bananas are going to Vegas. So I think, wherever, which is bigger, the Super Bowl or the Savannah Bananas? Who knows?
That'd be really, really cool. So our another one I like to mention is Cooperstown. That's probably
Yep.
a great one also.
Cooperstown's going to be great. You'll find out, there's going to be some memorabilia from the Bananas, throughout the tour. That's going to, hopefully make its way to Cooperstown for a little exhibit that they might be running there, the week that we come to town. It's going to be one of the biggest games in history that they've held with the Hall of Fame.
So one more thing I'd like to mention about cities is for your 2024 World Tour, I love you guys to please, please, please come to Gwinnett County and come to Coolray Field, and please
Yeah,
come closer somewhere
I
near me
know.
in Georgia.
I know. We're getting that way. I think in 2024 we'll be looking at more, yeah, AAA ballparks and larger stadiums. And, we've been teasing this idea of going to a major league stadium at some point. So, which one will that be? All those things we're working on daily. It's crazy to think that, we're just about to start the 2023 tour. And here we are already talking about, what the 2024 tour is going to be. So Believe me, we're working on it.
Hmm. So you've also worked alongside with owner Jesse Cole for a number of years. Is there a more passionate owner in sports than him?
I met Jesse in 2012, which was amazing to think that it's been such that time. And the energy has not ever gone away. Really, I mean, the first day I remember him telling me about the players were going to do a choreographed dance back in the Gastonia days. And I thought that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. But to now think that, dancing players is just one little teeny tiny bit of what we do on a night, and the ideas that he brings to the table day in and day out, day in, for years and years now, he's brought all these ideas, the things that you see, whether you're watching it on TV or you see the social media stuff or you come to a game, those are things that he's been working on for years and years and years and years. And it's up to us to make sure that, all of them get into play and that the fans get to see them and that we, challenge those ideas and make them bigger and better. And so that's what we do on a daily basis. And for me to be able to work alongside someone like him on a regular basis, it makes me better because it challenges me to think a little bit differently and a little bit more bigger as we keep doing this thing for fans.
Mhm. You know he was on my show a few months ago, right?
I know, I know. He's telling me about it.
Biggest interview ever, I guess, for me. It was really awesome speaking to him, and just like you said, he's really nice and really passionate about the bananas.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jesse asked me what I'd like to see in Banana Ball that you guys don't already do. He kind of put me on the spot. But I told him something from his book. I want to see a fan play in the outfield for an inning or at least an out.
Nice.
Also, I'd like to be that fan. But I've been thinking about it and I came up with another idea. So basically, it's like an inning, but in reverse. Like
Okay.
you have to run backwards like to third base, and the third baseman
Yeah.
becomes the first baseman. Like Jackson also would have to become the first
Right.
baseman, and Dan Oberst would have to become the third baseman. So you run to third, and then the second, and then the first, and then the home.
I
It
like
wouldn't be
that.
different from the outfield, but it would just like make a twist on Banana Ball, I guess.
That's perfect. I love it. We're always trying to think about new ideas and new rules and ways to make the game faster, ways to make the game more fun and have the fans involved. Could fans vote on certain plays or tell pitchers what to throw during an at bat or vote on who's going to come into pitch or who's going to come into hit. The last inning. All those ways to get fans involved in the game because if we don't have the fans, we really don't have, much at all. It's really the fans that are the best part of building this, whole thing.
Um, I also know you have a very collaborative organization. Is it true that any player or staff member can pitch an idea, for the benefit of the show?
That's right. Just a couple days ago, we had our idea session, which turned into figuring out what our scripts were going to be. One of the ideas that's been coming to the table that we were just in a conversation about was we changed in the showdown. We changed the walks to be what we call now the chase, and so the pitcher throws the ball, and if it's a ball forward in the showdown, then the catcher has to hand the ball to the pitcher, and the pitcher has to start chasing the runner all the way around first, second, third, all the way to home, and they have to throw the ball to the plate, try to get the guy out at home plate. And so we're always thinking about what are these new ideas that are going to add to the show or add to the game or make mid ball better. And so no one no one is off limits when it comes to coming up with new ideas. Now, you got to defend your ideas. You got to prove why it's going to be great for our fans. You got to prove why it's going to be great for the game. How it's going to make things better. And it takes time to be able to really work through those ideas. Sometimes you get inspired by other people's ideas or other ideas that you've seen in other places, and so all those come together, and that's what you see every single night.
I bet that helps entertainment director Zach Frangelo a bit. What about you? Do you pitch any ideas?
One of the ideas that we came up with a while back was we wanted to figure out if we could have the bananas and the party animals do some sort of competition for home field advantage during the game. And
That
so, yeah,
that was my idea, but
yeah,
yeah.
See, we're on the same
Mhm.
wavelength here.
Yeah.
We came up with I don't know if you saw this a couple years ago. We did a modified home run derby. It was like a home run derby in 3 minutes basically. And you start in the outfield, you toss a ball to yourself and have to hit it out. Then you go to second base and someone tosses it to you and you hit it out. And then you go all the way to home plate and you're thrown, traditional home run derby, and you got to see as many as you can hit out in like 3 or 5 minutes, whatever it is. And we're thinking that that's going to be the way that maybe in the future for some of these games we determine, will it be the party animals or the bananas get home field advantage because in banana ball and really in baseball as well, the home team really does have a great advantage to walk off every single inning. And
Yeah.
so that was one that I hope to see pretty soon.
So I've been trying to get someone to do that for so long, and finally you
Yeah,
guys have pitched that idea. So thank you
coming
very
up with it.
much. Mhm.
That's right.
So speaking of pitching, did you ever play baseball when you were growing up?
Yes, I did. I loved playing baseball. I was a big Atlanta Braves fan and grew up in North Carolina. And then I went to school at Belmont College in Charlotte, and I was on the team there, but I didn't play very much. There's a big difference between being on the team and playing. And so I was on the team, and I sat the bench basically, and got zero chances to play. But that was where I realized that I could still be involved in the game. Um, but from the business and the entertainment side of it. And so I had a lot of fun, working for the Royals and then working for Jesse and kind of coming up through this thing. And so I'm able to be involved in the game and do it in a fun way, but do it where my career is a little bit longer, on this side of the fence than it would be on that side of the fence.
Mhm. So my mom and dad grew up in West Palm Beach, and I was born in West Palm Beach. So what can the
Yeah.
fans down there expect this weekend?
Well, number one, West Palm Beach is just beautiful this time of year for sure. The entire city is beautiful. And so, this weekend we potentially might have a few former major leaguers, stopping in, playing for the Bananas.
Can you give
Uh,
us
you,
can you give us a hint, maybe?
oh, you got to tune in. You got to
Top
tune in. They're
secret?
big. They're big time. They're big time.
Ooh.
And so that's going to be fun. You've got some interesting things. You've got the newcomers. You got some of the new faces on the team. Then you got some of the older guys, the old guard, as we're calling them. You got some guys who you've seen on social media a lot, but you also got some guys who you might not see their face. It's kind of part of their
Marshmallow.
character. Yeah, they're part of their character that you're not going to be able to see some of the things they got going on. You've got Bill Lee and you've got Matt Wolf and you got Stilts. Where are they going to play at tonight? Are they going to pitch? Are they going to hit pinch run? Are they going to play first? And so you've got all these amazing storylines. And then you're going to see a really talented Party Animals team as well. These guys are good. Like I'm kind of nervous for the Bananas.
The
Uh, you
party
know, we
animals.
got I know we got to see what are the animals or the bananas. Who's going to be better at this thing. So a lot of surprises this weekend, but a lot of fun too. A lot of the stuff you've seen for a while is going to come out, but so much fun new stuff tonight.
Hmm. So you mentioned YouTube earlier in this interview to where places you could watch the game. Can you
Yeah.
also watch it on ESPN Plus?
Yeah, so just YouTube this year. We're doing it totally free on YouTube. You don't have to subscribe to anything. You can just plug it in on YouTube, whether you want to do it on your computer and cast it to your TV, or if you've got a Roku TV, you can just pull it up there and get it
Good.
plugged in. Follow us on YouTube, these Savannah Bananas.
Oh,
You'll
that's
see it
good.
live. Yeah, you'll see it live at 6:55, 7 o'clock, going live.
Hmm. So for the fans that can't make it to the game, do you think there'll be like any other way that they'll like have the experience?
Yeah, right now, it's either come to the game or watch it on YouTube. I'm going to be proud of what the broadcast becomes. I think we're getting better at it in the way that we show the game and present it to people. But then there's some things we're working on right now for March and April. A little announcement that we're trying to put together, and so there might be one more set of games coming up later on this year, but we got to figure it out first. And so there might be one more chance for people to come.
Um, so you guys will also be playing 3 games against MLB alumni players. I'm actually really jealous because of anyone that gets to go to the game in Tampa on April 29th. But are you able to tell us right now who any of the players are?
So we haven't they haven't officially released their roster yet. But there are some stars that are going to be a part of those lineups for sure. These guys are fired. They're going to play 3 games, as you mentioned, a couple in Savannah, one in Tampa, at the Steinbrenner Field there. So they haven't released their rosters yet. But I think when we do, people will be pretty fired up to see some of these guys taking on the
I'm
Bananas and
excited.
Banana Ball. That's right.
Hmm. So I asked Johnny Damon and Matt Joyce, and they both said they hadn't been asked by the Bananas. So I'm really excited to see who you guys play.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Mhm. So Mr. Orton, I started a new segment I started a new segment recently called "What Would You Tell Your 13-Year-Old Self?" So you're the president of the Bananas, and
Mm.
there have been a lot of twists and turns along the way. But you guys were a sensation. So what would you tell your 13-year-old self, Mr. Orton?
Oh man, let's see. 13 years old, 2004. I would have told myself, just have more fun at the things that you're doing, and don't take stuff as serious sometimes. I was a pretty serious kid growing up. I wanted things to go right every single time. I was always devastated when things went wrong or things didn't go my way, and just always felt like I had to get it perfect every single time. And what I forgot in some of those moments was that I was getting better. I was learning how to do things in the proper way, but I really needed to learn that things don't have to be absolutely perfect the first time you try them or the first time you do them. And there's beauty in getting better every single time, and beauty in trying to create and craft work on your craft every single time. And so I got to remember that even today, when things don't go right the very first time, I got to tell myself, hey, we got to get better. We're still getting better. Might not be perfect today, but let's work on it and make it better.
Everybody makes mistakes.
That's right.
Mm. So very, very interesting. I'm 13 now, and I'm getting so many great answers to this question, so thank you.
Good.
But now we've made it to the last segment, the not so rapid fire questions. You can answer with much or as little info as you want. You ready?
Go for it.
So do you wear your fun banana pants to every game?
I wore them just a couple nights ago. We had our kickoff for our game day teammate orientation. Wore the banana pants. I've got one single pair of them. I probably should get more of them. But yeah, I wear them every night, and I wash them every night too.
Mhm. So banana cream soda or banana flavored beer?
Ooh, I like the banana beer after the game. Banana cream soda. I'm not much of a soda person in general, but I have tasted it, and it is tasty.
So what's your favorite thing at Grayson Stadium?
Oh man, it takes a while to make these things and get them right. But we've got these funnel cake fries with some powdered sugar that we bring out at like 8 o'clock after the game, or once about halfway through the game, and I think those things are delicious.
M-
They're absolutely wonderful.
I had 2 so far because I've been to 2 games, and
Yeah,
you're right, they are really good.
yep.
So Bill Kyle, Jackson Olsen, Malachi Mitchell, Dan Oberst, Breland, Almadova, and Mike Vivacis. These guys are very recognizable, and they've all been on my show. So which banana or party animal is going to become a fan favorite in 2023?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I think Jackson Olsen obviously has kind of the clubhouse lead right now with coming in, being the new guy, and kind of getting all the popularity. I think Breland's really interesting as a party animal because he does the jump, and a couple nights ago I saw him hit a home run and do the whole thing with the flag. He's got the personality. We're calling him the styling Hawaiian this year, which is really fun. You're going to see Bill doing the trick catches and behind the back. Yep, there you go. Kyle's going to be wearing a cowboy hat. So I'll be interested to see, is it more of the flair that builds people up? Is it the skill? Is it a mixture of both? Like, what's going to be the thing that really gets people fired up. And of course, Vasis, he's the player coach now. So, will people start liking him a little bit too? I mean, it'll all be interesting. But I'll be excited to see who pulls it out.
What's your favorite banana ball rule?
I think I've said this for a while. I think the fan catching a foul ball for an out is just the coolest thing that you just don't get anywhere else.
That's my favorite too, and I think that's my dad's favorite too, also. So DC or Marvel?
I actually don't follow either of them very well.
That's
I've only watched Marvel films. I've never seen a DC, comic film or anything like that. So I can only speak to Marvel.
Okay. So funny story. This might be like the third or fourth person in a row that said that they do not care about Marvel
I
and
know,
DC.
I know,
I'm
I
like,
know it's a big world, but
so
I
so
never follow
on
it.
on opening day of Banana Ball, it'll actually be the same day that Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania comes out.
I couldn't tell you one thing about Ant-Man.
Uh,
The
um.
last I did watch let's see, I watched Black Panther. That's the most recent one I've watched.
Mhm. And lastly, what's your favorite baseball movie? You have to have one, right?
Yeah, yeah. Growing up, it was always Field of Dreams. Thought Field of Dreams was awesome. With hopefully we get to play at that site one day. I thought Rookie of the Year. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Yeah,
Is
pretty
always
good.
cool with the Henry Rowan Gardner. And then the kind of true story feel thing. Obviously, Moneyball is a great one to watch. The one that resembles the bananas the most is a documentary on Netflix called The Battered Bastards of Baseball about the Portland Mavericks, and that one's an
Mhm.
amazing one.
Kurt
So
Russell.
those, yeah, Kurt Russell. So those three or four are probably those are my top.
Mhm. Did you know they filmed parts of the Bingo Long Traveling All Stars at Grayson Stadium?
I did know that a lot of good some films and all some amazing historic moments that happened at Grayson Stadium.
Mhm. Folks, Jared Orton, we did it. Thank you so much for your time. Did you have fun?
This was great, absolutely the best.
Anything else you want to add or any questions for me?
Hopefully, we'll see you on the tour.
Well, I really appreciate this bonus episode. The Bananas World Tour kicks off tonight at the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. All the games are sold out, but check the SavannahBananas.com for all ticket and schedule information this year and in the future. And please follow the Bananas on all their social media platforms at the Savannah Bananas. And please support my show by subscribing to Baseball Podcasts Are Fun on Instagram and Spotify and YouTube, and going to my website, baseballpodcastarsfun.com, for some merch. So please tune in tomorrow for a special guest. But until then, that was Jared Orton. I am Grayson Knight, and this is Baseball Podcasts Are Fun. Don't forget to swing for the fences. See ya!